In today's show, a formal U.S. war against cartels, a Yom Kippur attack in Manchester, and the WNBA finals set to begin tonight. Plus, from $1 million treasure haul off Florida's coast to new clues in the Amelia Earhart mystery, and even a bear loose in an Arizona grocery store, all in today's Flyover Extra. And what were the 6 character names that made up the official Three Stooges lineup? That's today's trivia question. It's Friday, October 3rd. This is the Flyover Podcast. Welcome to the Flyover Podcast, taking you above the noise for an unbiased, high-altitude view of today's headlines with daily coverage that's honest and refreshing. Let's cruise the news and land the facts. Hello and welcome back to the Flyover Podcast. I'm your weekday host, Ayla Brown. If you are new here, thanks for joining us. This is the place where we cover everything from politics and sports to finance and beyond. So buckle up and let's take off with the biggest headlines. The Trump administration has formally declared war on drug cartels. In a memo to Congress Thursday, the White House said the U.S. is now in a formal, quote, non-international armed conflict with cartels, which it has designated as terrorist organizations. This comes after 3 U.S. military strikes on drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean that killed 17 people, at least 2 of those boats originating from Venezuela. Democrats argue that Trump needs war powers authority from Congress to keep conducting these strikes, but the administration says the attacks are part of an official war against the cartels. More info on this in today's show notes. Meanwhile, in the UK, officials declared a terrorist attack in Manchester after a car was rammed into a crowd and people were stabbed outside a synagogue on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. 2 people were killed and 3 more seriously injured before police shot and killed the suspect just 7 minutes after arriving. Authorities identified him as 35-year-old British citizen Jihad al-Shami, and 3 others have also been arrested in connection with the attack. Police say the motive is still under investigation, but the timing and location have deeply shaken the community. And finally, in sports, the WNBA finals tip off tonight as the Phoenix Mercury take on the Las Vegas Aces in Game 1 of a best-of-7 series at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Las Vegas is the slight favorite behind league MVP Aja Wilson, while Phoenix will rely on Alyssa Thomas after her dominant playoff run. This season was the most successful in league history, even after losing superstar Caitlin Clark to a season-ending injury in July. ESPN averaged 1.3 million viewers per game, up 6% from last year. And the women's sports memorabilia market has exploded, including the $660,000 sale of a one-of-a-kind Caitlin Clark signed basketball card. Here are your top political headlines. The White House has approached 9 major universities, asking them to commit to Trump's priorities on everything from admissions in women's sports to free speech and tuition affordability, all in exchange for easier access to federal funds. The proposal, dubbed the Compact for Academic Excellence, would also require stricter gender definitions, limits on international students, and freezing tuition, and it would be enforced through potential loss of benefits. The 9 universities asked to commit to the proposal are Dartmouth, Brown, MIT, USC, the University of Arizona, University of Virginia, Vanderbilt, University of Pennsylvania, and the University of Texas at Austin. Switching back to focus on Washington, FCC Chair Brendan Carr is scheduled to testify before the Senate Commerce Committee, chaired by Senator Ted Cruz, over comments he made about Jimmy Kimmel's show. Carr's remarks drew criticism from some lawmakers, and Thursday's hearing is expected to dive into free speech, broadcast standards, and FCC authority. Finally, a new poll finds that nearly 2/3 of American voters now believe the U.S. is too politically divided to solve major problems, up sharply from 2020 when just 42% said the divide was that deep. The rise suggests growing public frustration with partisan gridlock. Here are some podcast extra stories just for our listeners. Florida treasure hunters uncovered more than 1,000 silver and gold coins worth an estimated $1 million from a centuries-old Spanish shipwreck. These coins, known as pieces of eight, date back to the Spanish Empire and were minted in Mexico, Peru, and Bolivia, many still showing clear dates and mint marks. The hoard is believed to have come from a chest lost when a hurricane destroyed Spain's treasure fleet in 1715, scattering an estimated $400 million in riches across the ocean floor. Also among the finds was a royal seal linked to King Philip II of Spain and a gemstone. I wish I found that. Must be beautiful. Researchers from Purdue University next say they may be closer than ever to solving the mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance. Earhart and navigator Fred Noonan vanished in 1937 while attempting to fly around the world, and their plane, well, it was never found. Now a Purdue-led team is preparing to travel to Nikumaroro, a remote island in Kiribati, to investigate an underwater visual anomaly first spotted in satellite images in 2020. The object has been visible in photos as far back as 1938, just a year after Earhart's disappearance. And shoppers in Oro Valley, Arizona got quite a surprise when a bear wandered into a Fry's grocery store. The animal had been spotted in the neighborhood over the weekend, and it was seen behind the store before it managed to, well, nudge its way through the automatic doors. Once inside, the bear ran around for several minutes and at one point appearing in the produce section, but caused no damage and didn't take anything. A video captured the moment when a man, distracted by his phone, suddenly found the bear just a few feet away before it bolted. Not him, but the bear. Police quickly evacuated customers, but the bear slipped away after leaving the building and has not been tracked down since. Shout out to our Arizona flyover readers, by the way. Still to come, a $2 billion sports deal, a NASA shutdown setback, and a big fight over AI in Hollywood. And we have a poll regarding AI in movies coming up in just a couple minutes. But first, thanks to Cozy Earth. Cozy Earth's whole mission is to transform your 5 to 9 into the most comfortable part of your day. And let me tell you, they've nailed it. At my house, bedtime can be a circus with 2 little kids. But once the house quiets down, sliding into Cozy Earth's viscose from bamboo sheets has become my little sanctuary. They're temperature regulating and so soft, like you wouldn't believe. Like a 5-star hotel bed, but in your own home. And if you want to up your comfort game beyond the bedroom, their bubble cuddle blanket is incredible. It's got this plush textured design that makes it just as stylish as it is cozy. The best part, you can try Cozy Earth risk-free. They give you 100 nights to see if you love them, plus a 10-year warranty. So here's the deal. Head to CozyEarth.com and use my code FLYOVER for up to 20% off. And if you see a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here on the Flyover podcast, because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth. In finance, Elon Musk briefly became the first person ever to surpass a $500 billion net worth, thanks to a rebound in Tesla's share price. At one point Thursday afternoon, Forbes tracked his wealth at $500.1 billion before it settled back to $499.1 billion by market close. Tesla stock is up sharply this year, giving Musk's stake a massive boost. Switching gears, Maxwell House is playfully rebranding itself Maxwell Apartment for a limited-time campaign. As part of the promotion, the company is offering a 12-month lease of coffee. Get it? Encouraging customers to stock up for the full year. It's one of the more creative marketing stunts we've seen in the coffee world lately. Finally, Tyson Foods has agreed to pay an $85 million settlement to consumers who alleged the company conspired with rivals to inflate pork prices by limiting supply. That settlement is one of the largest in recent years over antitrust claims in the U.S. meat industry. And here's how the stocks did yesterday. The market saw modest gains, with the Nasdaq up 0.39%, S&P 500 edged higher by 0.06%, and the Dow Jones adding 0.17%. In commodities and crypto, Bitcoin rose 1.94%, and gold gained 0.32%. The biggest mover of the day was TransUnion, which fell 10.64% after news that Fair Isaac Corp., the company behind the FICO credit score, plans to license its mortgage scores directly to lenders, cutting out the credit bureaus. In sports, the Big Ten is reportedly weighing a private equity deal that could pump about $2 billion into the conference and its schools. The plan would create a new commercial arm, tentatively called Big Ten Enterprises, to manage media rights and sponsorships while keeping scheduling and championships under the conference's control. But there's pushback. Schools like Michigan and Ohio State are reportedly hesitant, and the deal hinges on unanimous support. Meanwhile, FIFA Vice President Victor Montagliani pushed back on President Trump's suggestion to relocate World Cup matches, saying that FIFA, not any government, has the final say on where games are held. He added that soccer, quote, is bigger than any individual, and that political leaders don't determine tournament logistics. And in baseball, the MLB Divisional Series matchups are now locked in following last night's wild card games. The Division Series begins Saturday under a best-of-5 format, with ALDS games airing on Fox and FS1 and NLDS games on Turner platforms. The championship rounds follow soon after, and the World Series opens October 24th with games 1 and 2, hosted by the team with the better regular season record. Broadcasters like Fox, ESPN, and MLB Network will provide national and international coverage throughout the postseason. See the updated brackets in today's show notes. In science and tech, researchers now believe dolphins may develop an Alzheimer's-type brain disease, similar to humans, which could help explain why some become disoriented or strand far from home. In a study of stranded dolphins, scientists found hallmark signs of Alzheimer's pathology, amyloid plaques and tau tangles in their brains. Meanwhile, head outdoors tonight and you might spot a green, glowing comet, first seen in September. It's expected to peak in visibility around October 20th when it makes its closest path to Earth. And back on the ground, more than 15,000 NASA workers were furloughed as the government shutdown forced most agency operations to pause. Only essential missions will continue while research, public outreach, and hardware development are put on hold. Here are a lot of extra headlines to leave you with on a Friday. First up, 2 Delta regional jets collided at low speed Wednesday night at LaGuardia Airport. A flight attendant suffered a minor injury, but no passengers were hurt. Meanwhile, in Paris, the Eiffel Tower was closed on Thursday after protesters filled more than 200 towns and cities across France. They were pushing back against government spending cuts and calling for higher taxes on the wealthy. Over in Italy, Art Heritage Police raided a Salvador Dali exhibit, seizing 21 suspected forgeries out of the 80 works on display. Officials say the investigation is still ongoing. On the entertainment side, Peaky Blinders is making a comeback. Creator Stephen Knight confirmed the hit series will return for 2 more seasons, this time following a new generation of the Shelby family after World War II. Tilly Norwood, an AI-generated aspiring actor, drew immediate backlash from guilds, actors, and filmmakers, with SAG declaring on Tuesday that creativity, quote, is and should remain human-centered. See what Tilly looks like in today's show notes. And finally, Danica Patrick is speaking out about the Super Bowl halftime show. The former driver and racing commentator criticized the NFL's choice of Bad Bunny, pointing to his Spanish-only performances and his political views on U.S. immigration. Here's the results of yesterday's poll question. Which Peanuts character is your favorite? 37% said Snoopy, 16% said Charlie Brown, 11% said Linus Van Pelt, another 11% said they're all blockheads, 8% said Peppermint Patty, another 8% said other, and 7% sorry, but Lucy Van Pelt, you came in last. Thank you to everyone who voted. And here's today's poll question. Are AI-generated actors a good idea? We were just talking about that happening in Hollywood right now. You can vote 4 different ways. Yes, no, depends, or who cares? My question is, how are AI actors any different than CGI actors? Remember when that movie Avatar came out and most of that movie was fake, but the movie was so fascinating and beautiful that no one really cared. Same with video games. All of the characters are AI and fake. So I guess the future is inevitable, in my opinion, that we're going to go toward AI actors at some point in the future. Do I like it? No. But you can vote in the show notes below, and Amy Hess will read the answers in tomorrow's show. Here's the trivia question. What were the 6 character names that made up the official Three Stooges lineup? Answer, there were 6 official Stooges: Moe, Larry, Curly, Shemp, Joe, and Curly Joe. Moe Howard and Larry Fine were the mainstays, while the third spot rotated. First, Shemp, then Curly, then briefly Joe Besser, and finally Curly Joe Dorita until 1970. 1970. I almost said 1917. Could you imagine? Oh, it's Friday. That is it for today's Flyover podcast. And thank you so much for joining me this week and spending part of your day here. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And if you're looking for something uplifting, head over to Amy Hess's Feel Good Friday for some positive news to take with you. I'm Ayla Brown. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back here Monday. Thanks for flying with us.